and welcome to Success Talk. I'm your host, Aurea McGarry, and I am here to bring you amazing people, successful business owners that can share their greatest tips to help you succeed with your business or your ideas or your future business ideas to come that you haven't even thought of yet, but might get some by watching this show and people that I bring on. Today is no different than other days. I am bringing you a very dear friend, somebody who inspires me, who has been through the trenches and come out the other side, not just for herself, but to help others. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself right now. Tamiko, Lowry, Pugh, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I am excited to be here. You know, the interesting thing is I find it very difficult to talk about myself. So when you tell me to talk about myself and introduce myself, it seems kind of weird because most of the time we don't want to feel like we're being egotistical and all that stuff. But
since I asked, go right ahead.
Before I tell you a little bit about myself and who I am. Again, I'm Tamiko Lowry Pugh. Most people affectionately call me the Empowering Diva because I love to empower people in different areas of life. I am an author, a 3-time best-selling author. I am an empowerment life coach to women, helping women to live an empowered life of passion, purpose, potential, and peace. I am also a podcaster of Living the Empowered Life podcast.
Yay.
And I think that's about it. And I'm a nonprofit executive.
Yeah,
so
the most important thing. You're
the Still Standing Alliance, yes. So I'm the founder of the Still Standing Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on domestic violence advocacy and prevention.
And so that's actually how you and I met, Tamiko, because we were both on stage talking about domestic violence, because we're both domestic violence, I like to say, survivors. And you've got an amazing survivor story, Tamiko, and you've turned it around to help so many other people. So the Still Standing Alliance, I want everybody to know about it because it's great. What you do is fantastic. In a nutshell, tell us who you help with your nonprofit, how it helps.
Absolutely. So the Still Standing Alliance, as I stated earlier, we focus on domestic violence advocacy, awareness, and prevention. And so we advocate on behalf of domestic violence survivors and victims, making sure that they have the things that they need to thrive, making sure that the laws are protecting them. And then we bring awareness. So under the awareness umbrella, we make sure we are bringing awareness to the community because a lot of times people don't even understand that it's existing and it's in their own backyard. 1 in 4 women are impacted by domestic violence, and people need to know how severe this is. And then under our preventative measures, we have trainings for the community, Domestic Violence 101, how to help a domestic violence victim. Teen dating violence awareness curriculums, and we also have a training specifically for faith-based communities so that the faith-based church leaders will understand what domestic violence is, what it looks like in their congregation, and how they can help. In addition to that, we have a domestic violence survivor empowerment program, which is, we call it our IT Factor. Yay. The survivor empowerment program specifically focus on the personal and professional development of domestic violence survivors, helping them to rebuild their lives after abuse, teaching them life skills, how to write your resume, how do you interview for a job, financial empowerment, all those different things that are needed that I didn't have when I came out of that relationship, out of my domestic violence relationship. And just rebuilding is very difficult. So just creating a community of survivors that support one another. So that's what Still Standing is all about.
And what's the website?
thestillstandingalliance.org.
I'll make sure I put that in the description as well. So thank you for that. And I love that part of your nonprofit is prevention. Because if we can see the signs early and we can teach the next generation to see the signs and prevent it, then we're that much further ahead. Because I do know that 3 women a day die at the hands of somebody who says they love them. And that's just out of control, and it has to be stopped and prevented best we can. So I love that you educate, and you also talked about the churches, because my domestic violence experience was from a pastor's son. So it covers all backgrounds, all walks of life. Nobody is alienated from this possibly happening to them. And then I love that you talk to people about how to help someone else who you feel is going through it. Because I get that question a lot. How do I help someone I know that I think might be being abused? So I always do send people to you for education and knowledge and for support. So thank you, thank you, thank you for
Absolutely. And I
that.
think one thing I wanted to share is right now we're being quarantined, we're practicing social distancing. And a lot of times we forget about those domestic violence victims who
I
are
don't.
quarantined with their abuser.
We thought about that last night, as a matter of fact, was part of our dinner time conversation
Wow.
because the suicide we're just hearing the news is getting higher. And it's the first thing we thought about. Now you're locked in. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, right now we are working with some of the national organizations like the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence on coming up with a toolkit that we can present and give to domestic violence victims or to their friends or family members. And so we're looking to have something on our website within the next few days that will be a toolkit on how you as a neighbor, as a friend, as a family member can intervene, or you can help if you suspect something, and also something that those victims can kind of check out during that time to help them. If they have to escape, how do you escape when we're being quarantined? Well,
Wow.
we're actually working on that now, and that's something we never even thought about. And so
Kidding.
now is the time that we're on these conference calls coming up with ideas, and we'll create a toolkit. Again, hopefully we'll have that out by the end of this week.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I'll put in your website in this description, and Tamiko, any other contact information, make sure you get that to me. I'll put it in our description so people can have easy access to you whenever they see this, even if it's years down the road and the quarantine is over and life goes on, but they need to contact you for domestic violence support. I want that in the description. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, on that note, let's talk about business because
Yeah.
we need to help the viewers really get some nuts and bolts on how to be successful. And we are going to talk about this time that we're currently in, which is this pandemic quarantine, because there is a lot of good that can come out of it while we're sitting home and having more time than a lot of us want to have, but more time, I like to say, with our creative thoughts. So, Tamika, tell us some of the success tips you want to give people now that they're inside, but unfortunately probably out of work. Let's talk about some creativity things they could do.
So I really think this is the perfect time to focus on your personal and professional development. I do want to share that right now there are lots of universities that are offering free courses online. And so if you can find a free course, I'll give you the link a little bit later on and you can add it to the broadcast. But there are
Okay.
several universities that are offering different classes that you can take, and they're certification classes that you can take to enhance your skill set. But not only that, it's a really good time to begin to tap into your purpose. So a
Mm.
lot of times, we work a 9 to 5, you get laid off, or something like this happens when you can't get to work and you're unsure on how to bring in additional income. So again, I would say to tap into what do you think your life purpose is? I talked about my nonprofit organization. I had no idea how to launch a nonprofit organization, but I did know that I wanted to help someone. I did know that I wanted to be a
Yeah.
voice for other domestic violence victims. So thinking about what is it that you want to fix in the world? What is it that you see is wrong and you are passionate about that thing? Whatever that thing is, focus on that and think of ways that you can make an impact. I think when we serve, oftentimes we think about how do I sell this or how do I make money? And we think
Yeah.
selling, selling, selling. But I honestly believe that if we have a heart to serve, the money will come.
I agree. I agree.
So think about how you can serve your community. What is it? Do you want to see the homeless have homes? Is it domestic violence? Is it having a world that's full of peace? I mean, whatever that thing is, really dive into that. Um, I was always told by one of my mentors, if you study something for 30 days, you can become an expert.
Oh, I
So
like
whatever the
that.
topic is that you are interested in, study that thing for 30 days, become the expert, and then serve using your expertise. And in turn, you'll be able to make a profit from it.
That's weird. That's people need to know that. Write that down. Everybody get a piece of paper. That really is empowering right now. If you study for 30 days, something that of interest to you that maybe you already have a liking for and feel like you have maybe have some experience in, you can become an expert. Now we know we're not talking brain surgery, but we're talking about topics and whether it's a gardening or cooking or anything else. I mean, we can think of some other ideas. We have 30 days now. We've already had 2 weeks inside. I'm sure we're gonna have
Absolutely.
another, week or two at least. Who knows how much longer? But even after that, to study something, spending that time using your mind to become an expert in something, that can easily turn around to monetization. And that's what a lot of people are going to need to do. Probably more than 90% of the country now going to have to monetize something else for now. And that's a great idea.
Yes.
And tell us what your son did, because I just think it's such a cool idea that he did. Everybody needs to listen to this.
Yes,
Cool.
I want to give a couple of examples. So my son, he actually works at a printing company, one of the biggest printing companies in the city of Atlanta. But they were laid off because of the quarantine. And so he's very artsy.
Okay.
So he had this idea a couple of months ago to make these dolls or teddy bears that resemble celebrities or that resemble people. And so he can make one that looks like me with the hair and my skin tone. And
I want to see it.
And so he's really good at that. We invested in a sewing machine for him. Once, we got into the quarantine, he literally purchased fabric and started creating these dolls. So what he did was gave some to a couple of celebrities so that they can post them on their social media. And then now people are wanting him to make these dolls that look like them. They kind of remind me of like a Cabbage Patch doll. So it's not going to look exactly like you because it's kind of cartoonish, but they're great gifts. And so he was able to tap in to something that he was good at.
Maybe we'll see him on Shark Tank.
Maybe. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Do you have any lying around we could see?
I don't have any here with me. I don't. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Maybe we'll post a picture. But that's so much fun. And getting ready for the holiday season, which will be coming up. And this could just be so much good can come from that too. How you could raise money for your nonprofit and do something that's different. So that's creativity right there. What else you got? I think that's awesome.
And I talked about serving and just being able to be a servant or a servant leader. When I started the Still Standing Alliance, again, I just wanted to serve and I just wanted to help people. And I talked about studying something for 30 days. So I really engulfed myself in what was domestic violence. Why do abusers abuse? Why does this happen? Why does the victim stay? So I engulfed myself in this. Learned everything that I could learn and started sharing this information, serving the community for free. And then before you know it, people were paying me to come and stand on their stage and share my story and to talk to churches about how does the faith-based community help their congregation. So it was in the serving that I began to get income for that. And so creating ebooks, creating audio downloads. If you are shy to be in front of a camera like me,
I would never know it. You're always on my shows.
I know. You can always share your expertise via audio download. Something as simple as grabbing your cell phone, hitting the voice recorder and saying, "Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm going to share 10 tips on how to live a purposeful life," or "I'm going to share 10 tips on how to be a great gardener." Share those 10 tips with some action steps. Upload it to a website or to an e-commerce site, and you can sell it for a few bucks. Whatever your expertise is. Or you can use a platform like Zoom and record yourself via video.
Absolutely. If you give it away enough for free, people will come and start paying for it. Absolutely. And just monetize it. And get into, which we'll talk about in a second, getting into workshops and academies like you and I both teach on how to monetize it. But if you already come to our tables, as we're both coaches on life coaches and businesses, you come to the table with that idea already kind of raw, but already done. We help you get that monetized in whatever you're doing. Tamiko, tell us about how you do that with your academies as well.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I help women do is to use their experience, to use their expertise and their skill set to either create books, to become a life coach, or to use that as an expert in their field. And so if you have an expertise at helping people to build websites, well, I can help you to monetize that by, again, creating an ebook or an e-guide, creating an audio download to explain how that process is done, and just becoming the expert. And I know a lot of times people use the word influencer. You can be the website influencer. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that your skill set is, helping you to take that experience and that skill set and monetize it. You can have anyone can have a training academy. You can
Yeah.
have, so I have a Living the Empowered Life Academy, and I've just taken all of my expertise and put it in there so that other people can come and learn from me. And you can do the same thing with whatever it is that you're good at.
Absolutely. And I've been telling people this for years. And now that we're kind of having to recreate ourselves, a lot of people are in their home, now's the time to do it because everybody's an expert at something and really hone into what makes you different, what makes you above the rest in that. Like both you and I, Tamiko, can talk about domestic violence because we both escaped it. And you were left on the side of the road, left for dead. I mean, your story is so incredible that you were able, and the fact that you and I were both able to rise from that. And now we're married to our Prince Charmings and we're treated like the queens we should be treated like every woman should and every man as well. And we're able to show the other side of it. So it's so important to take something you have experience in. Don't just grab at straws like, oh, let me try to be like I would not try to be an expert at cooking. I mean, I can do it but I'll leave that to somebody else. Maybe baking, but find something you really love to do, whether it's pets or animals or painting or music. Find something you're already good at. Find something you already have accolades in. As little as you may think it is, still rises you above other people that don't have the expertise in that. Maybe you've won a baking contest. Maybe you've won a pie contest. Okay, we're already a step above me. You can teach on how to bake. So there's always something you've done a little bit better than somebody else. Start with that. Grow with that. Monetization can be at the other side of that for sure. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And then following your passion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that you're passionate about? Whatever you're passionate about, you can monetize that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about baking. I don't know how to bake, but if somebody gave me a 10-step process on how to do something, I would actually pay for that. My husband
Absolutely.
loves like baked goods and cookies and cakes, and I buy store-bought stuff, but if someone gave me a recipe or gave me a step on how to become a great baker, I'd
Mm-hmm.
buy your book, I'd buy your audio download, I'd come hear you speak. So whatever
Absolutely.
that thing is that you're passionate about, you can make some coins off of it.
Yeah, you can, especially making it easy too and step by step. And I think women, especially, we think that, oh, who would want to listen to me? Or there's already somebody out there doing that. Doesn't matter. You don't need the whole world. You need just a little piece of it. And having a little piece of your world and your community buying into you can make all the difference in the world. Back in the recession of 2008, 2009, I remember hearing that was very true that $500 extra a month meant the difference of people losing their home and not losing their home. So it's not always about making the millions or the six figures. Sometimes just bringing an extra $500 a month. And here we are again with God knows what's happening, recession or whoever, knowing that people need to make more money. Even an extra $500 a month would make a difference now. So no time like now to tap into what's in here and start sharing it and seeing where it goes into monetization. On that note, Tamika, do you have any I want to say like a really good key tip for kind of our closing on how to monetize? Like if they have this idea, let's just say for argument's sake, somebody is a baker and they've got the knowledge in here. They've never done anything with it monetizing wise, but they want to. What's their first step into turning it into cash if they're ready for that? Is there a way that people can pay them for this? What's your insight on that?
Well, I would say the first thing that you want to do is identify whatever that expertise is and then become the expert. People need to know you're an expert. So if I've never heard of you and you're trying to teach me how to garden and you want me to buy a program or an e-guide on gardening and I've never heard of you as the expert, I might not buy it. But if I've heard of you, begin to share your expertise. Social media is there for a reason. No one knew who I was until I began to use the social media platform and share my expertise about domestic violence, sharing my expertise
Yeah.
about empowering women. So the first thing you want to do is identify what it is and then get out
Market.
there, let people know who you are. Hi, I'm Tamiko Lowry Pugh. People call me the Empowering Diva. I love to empower women to live a life of passion, purpose, and potential. And here's how I do that.
I love
So
it.
tell us what it is. We need to know what it is that you do. Once we
Mm.
know what it is that you do, then you can inspire us with that product and then you can encourage us to want to purchase it. Let us know, what is it going to do for us? I need to know how it's going to impact my life or make my life better.
Absolutely. You need to identify the pain that you solve for sure.
So absolutely. So whatever that thing is, so what is it?
So
Why do I
identify
need
it,
it?
market it. And I'm thinking before marketing, get your mantra, like your little ditty you just said. I love it because you really kind of taught yourself, I am the empowering diva expert, empowering, women to live the better life. Get that for you. Everybody watching, do that. Identify what it is you want to be known as. Get a little ditty mantra and then market the heck out of yourself. And marketing on social media is free. You don't have to go out and start buying ads yet. Market yourself in the right places to your right demographics in your groups. And thank God for social media. It's gotten such a bad rep for other things, but now it is going to be people's lifesavers, all of our lifesavers.
Absolutely. And don't forget to add the why in there. Why is this good for me? Why should I buy your product? Why? So once you know the why, I think what happens is even on your days where you don't feel like doing it, that why is going to make you want to go back and say, you know what, I got to keep pushing. I got to keep going. So also understanding the why so that you can share that to your target audience as well.
I love that. That is so wise. You have to have your why does keep you going when you don't feel like moving anymore. And nowadays people really have a big why because sometimes it's not going to be another choice. That kept me going a lot of times in my careers and in my sales careers because I didn't have an option. My why was I need to bring the money for my daughters, for whatever I was doing to put food on the table. So that why was strong. So it got me up even when I didn't feel like it. And I think a lot of people now we're going to be in that boat where there's no choice. The other doors have closed down now. This door has to be open. And sometimes I think that's a wake up call, whether they feel they have the faith that you and I do, that God sometimes stops us in our tracks to open up a bigger vision and our bigger legacy, like I always like to call it, because sometimes otherwise we wouldn't stop and listen to that small, still voice saying, I've got something bigger for you. Just
Yeah.
be still, know that I am God, and take initiative on what you're feeling. Should I? Could I? Yeah. And now you have to because another door might have just closed on you. So we're here to give you hope. Listen to that small voice, that still voice saying, you can do it. Take that idea and run with it. This is your time. And we may be seeing all of you all on Shark Tank sometime soon. Who knows?
Yeah. You never know. Go for it.
Absolutely go for it. And you know what? There's so many also small investors and angel investors. It's another thing I know you and I do. When they get into our groups, we talk to them about investing options and we walk them through. So everybody doesn't have to get on the big main stage of TV. There's people like you and I that are here to help them and walk them through everything. Tamiko, you've been a joy. This has been so fantastic. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And my heart goes out to you for your nonprofit and all that you do, turning around your life, your situation to help others. Now you've gone into a business and now, yes, you're empowering women. You should, because you empower all of us and have started where you were from lying on that street, left for dead, to where you are now. I think everybody can really be inspired and learn from you. And I hope they tap in to you. Again, tell us a closing thought and how to get a hold of you. And I will put it in the description as well.
Absolutely. So everything that we talked about today, I think what it all boils down to is this: be who you were created to be, and you will set the world on fire.
Yes. Perfect. That is a quote. There's a hashtag. There's a quote for the day. I love it. That's fantastic. Tamiko, thank you. I'll put your website down below. You are wonderful. Tell us about your podcast real quick. How can we listen to your podcast? And I think I'm going to be on there sometime soon. So yay.
Our podcast is available on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Spotify, pretty much everywhere where you can find a podcast. And it's all about empowering women from the inside out, again, to live a life of passion, purpose, and potential. And so we have the beautiful Aurea. She will be on tomorrow's episode. And so she'll share that. I'll be sharing it as well. So look out. It's a great episode.
Oh, fun. I'll put that link in there. So whenever they're watching this, they can listen to that. So we're just on each other's shows. I love it. Tamiko, thank you. And thank you all for watching. We're here for you. We know we are going to make it through even bigger and better than before because great things happen from obstacles and things seemingly to be hopeless. God's the one that gives us the hope, and it's going to be fantastic. We all believe in you. Tamiko, thank you again. Love you all. Goodbye for now from Success Talk with Aurea McGarry. Go out there and be your greatest success story. Have a great day or night. God bless.